The tension in Buffalo is real. The clock is ticking toward the 4 p.m. Eastern trade deadline, and the Bills are running out of time to strengthen their roster before the window slams shut. Every minute matters. Every phone call could change the future of this football team. Brandon Beane and the front office are in an all-out scramble to find the right deal, one that could spark life into a roster that's fighting to stay among the AFC's elite. But there's a problem: the Bills are tight on cash. With just over $1.6 million in cap space, flexibility is limited. That means every move, every restructure, and every trade has to be calculated. Buffalo still holds solid draft capital, 7 picks in the 2026 NFL Draft, including selections in the 1st through 5th rounds, plus 2 more in the 7th. That's enough to negotiate if the right opportunity arises. Beane has been known to get creative, and today might demand exactly that. Before we dive deeper into the latest developments, before listening to the latest news, subscribe to the channel, like it, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Let's move on to the new news. Over the past several days, multiple league insiders have reported that Buffalo has been working the phones, exploring options at wide receiver and along the defensive line. With Ed Oliver sidelined indefinitely, the defensive front suddenly looks thinner than expected. On the other side of the ball, the passing attack has lacked consistency, and the team knows it needs more explosive playmakers for Josh Allen. Sources indicate the Bills reached out to several teams, inquiring about potential deals involving wide receivers such as Chris Olave from New Orleans and Jacoby Myers from Las Vegas. While both were intriguing targets, negotiations never advanced far. The Saints appear committed to keeping Olave long-term, and the Raiders have yet to honor Myers' trade request. That means the search continues. And according to league chatter, the Bills are not done looking. They're hunting for speed, versatility, and someone who can stretch the field, a true difference-maker. And if you're looking for a name to watch, remember this one: Rashid Shaheed. Fast, elusive, and dangerous with the ball in his hands. He might just be the player Buffalo needs to reignite its offense. The rumors are heating up in Buffalo, and the name at the center of it all is Rashid Shaheed. The Bills have been watching him closely, a young receiver with blistering speed and the kind of vertical threat this offense has been missing. But the price might be steep. Reports out of New Orleans suggest the Saints are asking for a 3rd-round pick, and that's no small gamble for a team already walking a tight salary cap line. Still, if there's a bidding war brewing, with teams like the Steelers and Broncos circling, Buffalo might have no choice but to stay in the fight. Shaheed's value lies in what he brings that no one else on this roster consistently does: raw, explosive separation downfield. He can stretch a defense to its breaking point and open up the middle for Josh Allen's quick strikes to Diggs, Kincaid, and Cook. His numbers this season don't jump off the page, but that's not the full story. Inconsistent quarterback play and a stagnant Saints offense have limited his production, not his potential. Go back to his breakout stretch in 2023, and you'll see the flashes of a true deep play weapon, a receiver who was on pace for 1,000 yards before an untimely injury cut his season short. In Buffalo's system, with Allen's arm and Joe Brady's vertical play design, Shaheed could thrive. If New Orleans insists on that 3rd-round price tag, Brandon Beane has a tough call to make. He might prefer to offer a 4th-rounder and a late-round pick, a creative compromise that keeps Buffalo in the race without overpaying. But when you're in win-now mode, sometimes the cost of waiting is higher than the price of risk. Now, while the Bills weigh their offensive options, there's another name quietly resurfacing on the defensive side, one that will sound familiar in Western New York. Harrison Phillips. Drafted by the Bills, developed under Sean McDermott, and still admired in the locker room, Phillips could be a reunion worth considering. Since leaving Buffalo, he's become a steady presence on the interior, not a sack machine, but a reliable run defender who clogs lanes and commands attention. With Ed Oliver sidelined and the defensive line banged up, a player like Phillips could bring instant stability and leadership. His current team is sliding fast, and a mid-season trade could benefit both sides. Buffalo gets depth and experience, while Phillips gets a chance to chase a championship instead of being stuck in a rebuild. He might not be the flashiest addition, but the Bills don't need flash right now, they need foundation. A dependable, physical presence who understands the culture and can help steady the defense down the stretch. When you look at it closely, Harrison Phillips just feels like the move that fits. It's logical, affordable, and meaningful. He knows Buffalo, Buffalo knows him, and that kind of familiarity can go a long way when you're chasing a playoff run. The cost wouldn't be high either, possibly nothing more than a late-round pick swap, maybe a pair of seventh-rounders. For a front office searching for low-cost impact, this is exactly the kind of deal that works. Adding Phillips would also give the Bills flexibility up front. They could shift Daquan Jones and Dion Dawkins between spots when healthy, letting players like Ogunjobi rotate in more naturally. With Ed Oliver still recovering, that interior depth could stabilize the defense and give Sean McDermott more confidence in his front four rotations. The big question inside the building now is this: what's the higher priority, adding another wide receiver or fortifying the defensive line? Offense brings flash, but defense wins December. The Bills have to find the balance between urgency and sustainability. Buffalo's staff knows what's at stake. If they stand still while other contenders reload, they risk falling behind in an AFC that's growing more dangerous by the week. Every move matters, every player added has to make this team tougher, smarter, and more explosive for the final stretch. One more name starting to surface in trade discussions is Arden Key of the Tennessee Titans, a versatile edge defender who can slide inside when needed. Key's value lies in his adaptability. He's disruptive off the edge, quick enough to chase mobile quarterbacks, and powerful enough to plug gaps inside. For Buffalo, that versatility could be crucial. Injuries to Ed Oliver and Micah Hyde have left this defense thinner than anyone expected. The Bills don't just need bodies, they need players who can adjust on the fly and deliver impact snaps from multiple alignments. Key fits that profile. It's not a blockbuster name, and it's not meant to be. But this is the stage of the season where smart, subtle moves can separate contenders from pretenders. And if Buffalo wants to keep its championship window open, those smart moves need to start right now. The Buffalo Bills find themselves standing at a crossroads, a team that still believes it can contend, but one that knows it needs help in the trenches to get there. Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane have always built around the front seven. Toughness, gap control, and relentless pressure, those are the cornerstones of their philosophy. And right now, with injuries piling up, the defensive front is the most urgent concern. That's why the name Arden Key makes so much sense. He's exactly the kind of player Buffalo's staff covets, explosive off the edge, versatile enough to move inside, and experienced enough to adapt quickly to a new system. While his current situation in Tennessee has limited his production, the tape doesn't lie. Key has real ability. Over 2 seasons with San Francisco, he totaled 12.5 sacks, proving he can thrive in the right environment. In Tennessee, it's been a different story. A struggling offense has left the defense gasping for air, forced to play extended snaps every week.